We should be able to find an alternative solution that doesn't feel pain. So suffocating to death is really inhuman and painful, I think. A lot of surprise. Oh my gosh. That's very inhuman. The best alternative for childbirth is like they use chloroform to reduce the pain level. But I'm hearing this for the first time. It's like it's really inhuman, like cruel to animals what we are doing. I never know about all these things we do to animals. How can I say no when I came to know a lot about this? Yes, it's definitely an animal abuse because they got life as we got, and they like since we know what pain is, so we never wanted any living being to have the same sort of pain we have. I'm just a student, yeah. I don't know how to balance things in my own life, so I don't know how to balance things like this. What's that? I'd like to know.
So obviously it's all animal related.
Animal related.
The very first one is chickens and turkeys.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one. Due to being kept in confined spaces in large groups, young chickens and turkeys, they will often have their beaks trimmed to reduce them from harming one another.
Okay.
So that process, though, it does have the potential to cause considerable pain and suffering.
Okay.
Now, the RSPCA will openly admit that they don't like this process and claim they want to phase it out. However, they do still permit it as long as it's performed by a trained professional. Do you think that process can ever be justified?
I think it's really horrible to have their beaks to have them cut off, like whatever the parts which pain them a lot. I think it's really inhuman. But on the other basis, like what's the best option to avoid them and get the alternative?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So number two. So I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, I do know the answer, but not.
My answer to that question is there's a lot of alternative things human can find. I think we should be able to find an alternative solution that doesn't feel pain, and we can also have. Yeah. But most probably, like humans cannot, like they depend on non-vegetarian. Yeah, they cannot. Like we cannot make the whole world to become a vegan or vegetarian. Yeah, it's
no, fair
really
enough.
possible.
Okay, second one, chicks, baby chicks.
Okay.
So because they can't lay eggs on their first day of life, most RSPCA, sorry, non-RSPCA, most male chicks on their first day of life are separated male, female, male, female. Females obviously go off to lay eggs.
Okay.
Yep. The male chicks on their first day of life normally put on a conveyor belt and they're dropped into a massive blender, a macerator. The male chicks on the first day of life. So it's like basically like a big machine. There it goes. And just chops them all up alive.
Okay.
Okay. Now the RSPCA, they prefer. They do permit maceration, but they prefer it if the chicks are gassed using argon.
Okay.
Now, gassing using argon, it takes no longer than 6 minutes for them to suffocate to death.
That's very painful. Yeah.
Do you think that's a better method than the maceration?
I think maceration is better.
Being chopped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because suffocating to death is like, I think, like first thing, maceration is different from suffocating them to death, right?
Yeah.
So suffocating to death is really inhuman and painful. I think I wouldn't take that option for chickens. Yeah, definitely not.
So the one you prefer is maceration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Third one. There are now. It's about fish, by the way.
Okay.
So there are now multiple not RSPCA methods for killing fish, such as using carbon dioxide, suffocating them in the air, basically just pull them out and leave them till they die, or put them on ice, or just putting them up and slitting their throats. It's scientific consensus that fish can suffer and feel pain.
Yeah.
Now, the RSPCA asked that fish be slaughtered using a percussive stunning, followed by bleeding. What this basically means is that they smash the fish's heads with a blunt instrument, causing the brain to collide against the skull.
Okay.
Occasionally, this will need to be done twice to ensure that the fish is being killed, because it's not always successful on the first blow.
Yeah.
Of those methods, which do you think you would prefer?
I prefer now to be a vegan better than killing all the animals. So in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I suggest for non-vegans, like
Are you vegan?
No.
No?
I'm hearing that.
But you're hearing it and you're thinking
yeah,
maybe you should be, yep.
Yeah, it's so painful for all the animals. But I think using the carbon dioxide method is better.
The fourth one,
Okay.
male dairy calves. So the males, because they are useless to the industry, this is not RSPCA, the first bit, because they're useless to the industry, the two most humane ways of disposing of unwanted calves is to either hit them, calves, yeah, is to hit them over the head with a blunt instrument, like a spade, for example, or it's called a blunt force trauma, basically it's called, or bolt gun them in the head on their first day of life. Now, the RSPCA, they prefer farmers to use electrical stunning because the calves don't want it to happen to them and they're moving around trying to avoid it.
Okay.
Electrical stunning reduces the ineffectiveness down from 14% down to 10%. Now, this means that roughly in the UK, of the 9,500 calves that are put down each month, only 950 of them aren't killed outright on the first go. What do you think to that process?
Are we really doing all this slaughter, like giving a lot of pain in UK? I literally don't know like the process of how they slaughter animals, so I'm listening for the first time.
It's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's literally a lot of surprise. But if given the option, the second one which you say, I'm like reducing the effect by using the
basically 10% of the animals put down, of the calves put down, they're not killed straight away, but all the others are.
Yeah.
Okay, final one. Pigs.
Okay.
Now, before I give you the statement, just to ask, how would you guess pigs are put down in the UK?
To be honest, I don't eat any pork bacon, so
No,
I don't care.
but you wouldn't know.
Pigs, yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you the statement anyway.
Yeah.
So the RSPCA approved way of killing pigs in the UK is to put them into a CO2 gas chamber. This is 88% of pigs in the UK. Now, CO2 is an aversive gas. It forms an acid on their eyes, in their lungs. Essentially, they burn from the inside out. Do you know when you have a can of pop and it goes up your nose?
Yeah.
And you get that sensation,
Yeah.
Imagine that a million times worse.
Oh my gosh.
It takes no longer than 3 minutes for the pigs to die that way. Often as little as 30 seconds, but considering the adrenaline, everything slows down, doesn't it? Yeah. What do you think of that process?
That's very inhuman. Is there not a better way of slaughtering animals without paining?
What would be a way? What would that look like?
Like people have found many different ways alternative. The best alternative for a childbirth is like they use chloroform to reduce the pain level.
Yep. So a lot of these things. So like for example, in a vet's, for example, if an animal's being put down because it's suffering, because it's got a broken leg or it's got an irrecoverable condition, they will normally euthanize that animal to put them to sleep. The problem being is that first of all, it's expensive. That's a big part of it. It's an expensive process. But it's also at the amount that would be needed to put down a pig, for example, because they're big animals, pigs, and cows, maybe less so chickens, but it's poisonous to you. poisonous
Okay.
food. So we can't eat it because it would taint the meat, or just make, I believe it would make us all very, very ill. So there isn't really a nice way of doing it. So these are all, of course, food animals, these particular ones. So previously, you said a couple of things that made me think you might have considered this, but have you ever considered where your food comes from in the past?
Now the only way the only thing I know is from the meat shop. I don't know anything beyond that, but I'm hearing this for the first time. It's like, it's really inhuman, like cruel to animals what we are doing.
Would you say you're against animal abuse?
100%, 100%. I have a dog back at my place. Like I literally like animals, but I never know about all these things we do to animals.
No.
And I've just learned that there's no other way to slaughter an animal without giving it a pain, which is very inhuman. That we need to be so cruel to live on animals.
Yeah. So the process I've described, would you say though that the processes I've described are animal abuse?
Yes, how can I say it now when I came to know a lot about this? Yes, it's definitely an animal abuse. And I guess the best way to save a few animals is to increase the meat prices so high. At least we would be able to save a few animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is it wrong to abuse animals?
Because they got life as we got, and they since we know what pain is, so we never wanted any living being to have the same sort of pain we have.
Yep.
So I think definitely it's not a good idea.
They feel pain, they suffer, but they also feel joy and love sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not the same as what we have, but they have a subjective experience of the world, and they want to be free and enjoy themselves. Yep. So if you go and purchase, so this is how supply and demand, it's actually demand and supply, so how it's worded incorrectly. When you buy a product from a supermarket, you're not saying, I'm eating a dead animal. What you're saying is, please replace it with a currently living animal. Please put it through those horrendous conditions, and then take away its life to replace the one I've just bought. That's what actually happens when you purchase these products. Now you know this, you will know that when you buy something, that's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
So if you are against animal abuse, do you think you can be against animal abuse but pay someone to do those things?
No, I think it's not a good idea after knowing that. Literally, to fill my stomach, I should be cruel to some animals. I think it's not a good idea.
But do you think we need them to survive? Do you think we have to eat them to be healthy?
I think we got some vegetarian stuff too. After listening to this, what I can do is I'll try to minimize my meat.
So let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to minimise how many animals you're going to torture for you?
Well, that's a very tough question. I've been on for meat consumption for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to stop all of a sudden. But
depends. It depends. Some people find it hard, and it depends on your perspective. If it's from your perspective, you might be, it's really inconvenient buying this instead of this. Hold on, it's a lot more inconvenient for that animal. You mentioned a minute ago, you said the word vegan a couple of times.
yeah,
Why did you mention that?
because vegan is better. After listening to this, if I go to a supermarket, instead, I'll have this in mind if I wanted to buy a chicken or bacon. Not bacon, I mean meat, lamb. I would go for some lentils and vegetables better.
So what do you understand by the definition of vegan?
Vegan is just the vegetables, not including dairy products or meat. Yeah.
A lot of people, when they hear the word vegan, like you, they think it's a diet. They think it's about, okay, vegans don't eat meat or any animals or any byproducts of animals. This includes honey. Yep. But that's not what it is. That's something they do. Yeah. But you also have non-vegans will also not eat animals. They're called plant-based. So not eat animals, not have honey, not have any byproducts of animals. What a vegan is someone who says exploiting animals for my own selfish purposes or anybody's selfish purposes is completely wrong. These industries needed to be boycotted, and the more people that boycott those industries, the less animals will have to go through that suffering and torture. So this also it extends beyond food. It goes to zoos, it extends to zoos, circuses, shoes, leather, fur, what you're wearing. If you're not a vegan, you're contributing to the exploitation and suffering of these animals. Yeah. And it's taking a stance that saying, do you know what? That's not right. It's not right. It doesn't sit well with me. It goes against my own morals and judgment. I'm against animal abuse. What a hypocrite I am if I'm paying someone to do those horrible things for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
if you turned around right now, or tomorrow or next week, next year, but if you turned around right now and said, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore, I will not pay for another animal to go through that hell for me, and I will go vegan, what do you think would be the hardest part? What do you find what would be the trickiest part for you?
Finding alternative food sources would be the hardest part, because I don't know a lot of vegan options.
No, understandable.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
and to be honest, I don't have an answer for most of them.
No.
I'm just a student. Yeah. I don't know how to balance things in my own life, so I don't know how to balance things like this.
So there's a wrong way of doing it, and there's not a wrong way. If you do it incorrectly, it's still better than not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. But the worst way of becoming vegan is to look at your plate and just say, okay, let's just remove all the animal products and just eat what's left. And what you'd find is that you would quite quickly become ill, because you're not replacing those nutrients. You need to get your protein, you need to get all those vitamins and minerals from alternative sources. And you're quite right, when you first start, it can be like, don't know what I'm doing. And I'll give you something to help with that in a second. As far as, and you go through this 2 to 3 weeks of learning a different way of eating. And then you start looking at the other products, like your shoes and that sort of thing. But the first thing is your food, because you're doing that 3 times a day. As far as once you've gone through that 3-week period, when you go to a supermarket, it's as simple as, with your milk, you go, oh, here's the abused cow milk, which was meant to be for a baby cow. Yeah, it's not meant to be for humans, it's meant to be for a baby cow. Oh, look, next aisle. Soy, almond, cashew, coconut, there's pea milk, potato milk. There's so many different types of alternatives, and you just get used to a slightly different flavour in your cereal or in your milk.
Yeah.
In the cheese aisle, you've got Cathedral City. Do you know the brand Cathedral City?
Yeah.
They've now got a vegan cheese.
Okay.
It's not the same, but it's a very, very good cheese alternative.
Okay.
So there's one for you.
Okay.
Richmond sausages, you heard of them?
No.
No? So quite a big brand, Richmond. They now do a vegan sausage. Yep.
I'm not a fan of sausage anyhow.
Of pork, I guess not, no. So no pork involved, no animals involved. You could try it and you might be pleasantly surprised, because it's not a pork-based product. If I gave you some, obviously you're on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, not obviously, I'm guessing you're on the internet, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have Amazon Prime? It's not important,
no.
I just wondered if you did or not. Okay, can I give you some resources to take away?
Yeah.
You can scan the QR code on your phone if you want to. The QR code takes you to, I'm going to give you this anyway, so you can do it later. This is that website takes you to. On the website, not on the, all of these are on the website. On the website, second one down, there's a documentary. It says the greatest speech or the best speech you will ever hear. is by a guy called Gary Yourofsky. As soon as you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's the one he meant. It's an old speech, to be fair. It's 10, 15, 20 years old. He's a little bit out of date on what foods you can replace with, because it's everywhere now. Yeah, it wasn't back then. But the important it's a lecture in a university. It's about just like I said, just under an hour long, and he just tells you, point blank. Here's all the reasons why you shouldn't do this to animals.
Yeah.
Really, really good to watch. If you decide not to go vegan, and even if you do, it's good to know. This website here, landofhopeandglory.org. It's a UK-based documentary about the behind the scenes of what goes on in these industries. This is just touching the surface, what I discussed with you.
Yeah.
There's so much other stuff that goes on, which is just horrendous. It is a hard watch. You'll watch it, and it took me 3 times. I watched about a third of it, need a break. Then went back to it, watched another third, I needed another break. It took me 3 times. So it's a hard watch, but it's really, really important to know what's going on that you have been paying for. When you're speaking to anybody in the future, what they're paying for. The one that you'll like, the one that's going to be really, really, really helpful for you is this one here, challenge22.com. This is a completely free resource. Yep. It is, you sign up on their website, you can do it through Facebook or you can do it through WhatsApp. I recommend Facebook if you've got it. There will be 100, 200, 500, maybe sometimes more. I've seen one with 700 people, all in exactly the same position you're in, where they want to stop paying for this abuse, but they don't know how to do it easily or healthily, or what alternatives to get, or what tastes like this, or where they get their protein from, or these sorts of things. Yeah. I mean, proteins is dead easy. It's just your beans, your legumes, your lentils. Really, 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 really easy protein. People have this idea that, oh, you need to eat meat for protein. It's like, who do you know that's ever had a protein problem? You can have a protein problem, but it's so easy to get it. But these guys will help you with that and just tell you everything you need to do. It's a free challenge for 22 days, but you can repeat it as many times as you want to. There's dietitians in there, you can ask questions. They'll give you meal plans if you want a meal plan. Everything, every single thing. You can ask questions and they'll answer it. And you'll see 3, 4, 500 other people all asking questions that you will have had yourself. What's your name?
Tim.
Tim.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark.
Nice
Lovely
to
to
meet
meet you. So you're vegan now?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Perfect. You take that. You can reach out to me anytime you want to. Yep. As soon as you think about it from the animal's perspective, it's unbelievably easy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna watch the videos which you suggested. But I would like to know.
Really, really good to talk to you, Tim. You have a really great day.
Thank you so much for letting me know.
Yeah, and thank you for stopping.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you take care. Thank you.
Hope you have a good day.
Yeah, you too. You too.